News Channel 5 on your side presents Kaleidoscope, focusing on people who make a difference in Northeast Ohio communities.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the broadcast today. Hatitude is the annual Breast Cancer Survivor Awareness Brunch hosted by Medical Mutual, and this year's event is October the 3rd. Director of Community Relations and breast cancer survivor herself, Deborah Green, is here to tell us more about the annual event and its 20th anniversary celebration. Later on, we'll hear from the author, Deanna Rice, who will discuss her book, I Got the Sugar Ain't Got Me. The book focuses on diabetes. And later on the broadcast after that, Terry Maynard and Dr. Gary Carrington will tell us about 100 Black Men of Greater Cleveland, its salute to local leaders. Good morning again, everybody. I'm Leon Bibb. This is Kaleidoscope, and so we begin. And beginning with one of our semi-regulars around here, Deborah Green. She's often with us talking about good things that are taking place in the world, and this year you're talking about what you've talked about before, Medical Mutual's annual Hatitude Breast Cancer Awareness Brunch taking place. Tell me about that.
Yes, and first of all, yeah, I'm a regular and I appreciate that. But I'm here again to talk about an event that we feel is very important, and personally it's important to me because as a survivor, I feel that it's great for us to tell other people about the possibility of thriving as a survivor. This is 20 years that we've been doing this. It's a free event that we hold in the community, and we want to raise awareness. But this year in particular, because of the milestone year, we want to celebrate survivorship. So we're asking anyone that wants to come as a survivor, a caregiver, or just someone who has been touched by cancer to come out and enjoy the morning that we have planned for them.
And that's going to be on Saturday, October the 3rd.
Right, at the Shaker Heights Country Club. We will be presenting an award that day to a group of women which call themselves shows. It's survivors showing other women how to survive. And there are 9 breast cancer survivors who, through their journey, put together and wrote a play. And they performed this throughout the community. In fact, Medical Mutual underwrote their performances for a year so that they could go to neighborhood centers, churches, and just help women. And through that partnership with the Gathering Place, the Cleveland Clinic, we've been able to provide screenings for women who don't have insurance or who are underinsured. Medical
Mutual has made a big commitment toward breast cancer awareness. And that's why you've been hosting this event.
Right. And, you know, again, it's not about me. I feel very blessed to work for a company that believes so much about breast cancer survivors and instilling in them the hope. And I go back 20 years ago when I was diagnosed. What I wanted to do and hear and see were other women who had survived the disease. So I feel like that's what my role, and that's what my purpose, and that's what my destiny is to share my testimony so that perhaps even if one woman comes to that event and they feel inspired and feel with hope when they leave, it's all worth it.
We were just looking at pictures of past events where some of the women had on hats. Tell me about this hatitude. It's not attitude, but hatitude.
Well, for black women, your hair is your crowning glory, and for many women, they lose their hair during treatment, but then hats, you throw on a hat, and you take on this attitude of, I'm still beautiful regardless. So we encourage women to wear their hats. They don't have to, but if they do, we do have a contest, and we award prizes for those with the fanciest hat.
I love that. I love that. You've got something called the Deborah A. Green Award, obviously named after you, Deborah Green.
Yes, it is. And again, it goes back to the type of company we work for. I work for Medical Mutual is the oldest and the largest insurer in the state of Ohio, and unbeknownst to me, they decided to name that award in my name when I left the company for a brief period of time. But again, I can't believe that my legacy will live on even after I'm gone. You know, my mother was born in the silent generation. She didn't believe in talking about your business. So when I was diagnosed, her first thing to me was, well, you're not going to tell anybody, are you? And, well, yeah, I'm going to tell everyone who will listen about this, because first of all, it's important that my family knows about it, because it's hereditary, genetics. And then also I just believe that I was diagnosed and I was chosen by God. He chose me because I could handle it. So since he chose me, he wants me to use that as a testimony to help other women.
You have a responsibility.
Right. So for 20 years, anyone who will listen, I talk about it. And I'm very, very blessed that this past April, I celebrated my 20th year as a survivor.
That is a lot of hope out there. There's a lot of hope
Right.
coming out through your voice today. And you're sending that hope out to anybody who may be dealing with a breast cancer diagnosis, or has
Right.
a family member or loved one dealing with a breast cancer,
Right.
that there is life after breast cancer.
Right. And you know, when you get the word cancer, your immediate thoughts are that you're going to die. And I remember that. I remember the day my doctor told me. It's still vivid in my mind. And the first thing I thought about were my children. And now, 20 years later, my son is 30, my daughter is 25, and just they're thriving.
Mm-hmm.
And when they look at me, they see that, well, God brings you to it, and He'll bring you through it. And when they see how I've survived all these years, I'm still a mother, I'm still a wife, I'm still a friend, a sister. And unfortunately, some people don't survive the disease, but I think that when you get the diagnosis, you have a responsibility to shine and to thrive.
How can we get tickets for this event called Hatitude Annual Breast Cancer Awareness Brunch, Saturday, October the 3rd at the Shaker Heights Country Club, and how do we, which is on Cortland Boulevard
Right.
in Shaker Heights?
Well, they can visit our website. There is online registration only. They visit our website, or they can call 216-687-7282.
And we've got that number on the screen right up there in the control room. We'll keep that number up for us for a little bit. Or they can go to medmutual.com/BCA events.
Right.
Medmutual.com/BCA events. You could get more information on everything.
Right, and I
we've been
encourage
talking
them to
about.
do that right away because it does fill up, but if it happens that we're filled, we will take waiting lists.
You remember what the cost is?
It's free. I forgot to mention the most important thing. There's no cost.
But we need to know how many people are coming,
Right,
so we can have enough meals out there. for
Right,
everybody to come.
exactly.
Okay. Deborah Green, it's always good to see you.
It's good to see you, and I really appreciate the opportunity.
Oh, Deborah, you know, we're always glad to have you on the broadcast, and we are so pleased that you're doing well 20 years later.
Thank you.
A breast cancer survivor. That says a great deal about
It does. God is good.
God is good and holding on.
That's right.
Many thanks. Deborah Green, Director of Community Relations for Medical Mutual of Ohio, talking about breast cancer awareness and its big program on Saturday, October the 3rd at Shaker Heights Country Club. Thank you, Deborah.
Thank you.
Taking a break. I'll be right back in just a moment. This is Kaleidoscope. You're in touch with Kaleidoscope. I'm Leon Bibb. Always good to have you with us. Deanna Rice is the author of I Got the Sugar Ain't Got Me. She is the CEO of On Target Healthcare Solutions, and her book focuses on educating those who are suffering from diabetes. Also a registered nurse. Good to have you with us, Deanna Rice.
Thank you, Leon. It's good to be here.
Yeah, good to see you.
Good to see you, too.
You're a registered nurse.
Yes, sir, I am. Very proud of that.
And so you come to this question of the subject of diabetes not only from a medical point of view, but from a personal point of view as well.
Yes.
Tell me about that. Tell me about your personal dealings with diabetes.
Just, you know, seeing so many people lose their feet, hands, eyes, just from the destruction of diabetes. And a lot of times what I've been finding is, as a nurse, they don't understand exactly what the disease is and how it affects their body. So a lot of people are finding themselves in situations. I don't have diabetes myself, but I found out that through nursing, that when the doctor comes in and they give people a diagnosis about diabetes, they're kind of dumbfounded. They sit there, they look, they're not sure exactly what to do, and then, you know, they're left with this devastating disease that kind of eats away at them piece by piece.
Was that your inspiration for writing the book?
That was my inspiration for writing a book. A gentleman came in to the hospital. He had stepped on a tack maybe a week prior, came in, his foot was wrapped in a plastic bag and a washcloth, and when you took the bag off, you could smell the rottenness of his foot. And, you know, I said, well, do you have diabetes? And he said, I got the sugar. I don't know about diabetes, but I got the sugar. So he understood diabetes as having the sugar.
And you named it that.
And I named it that.
We'll get a shot of that, of the book. We'll put that on the screen right now, of I Got the Sugar. Why did you call it that? I got the sugar ain't got me, as in sugar diabetes. Well,
if you listen to people when they talk about diabetes, they always say sugar.
Yeah.
And I found that, you know, as a medical person, you always kind of talk above people. They don't really understand all of the terminology. So the whole purpose of calling it I Got the Sugar was to bring attention to it, but not to make people feel bad about having diabetes. You know, to kind of put a light spin to it so that you don't feel bad about having diabetes, and we can start talking about it, because it is the 4th leading cause of death in Summit County, which is where I'm from.
You're from Summit County?
Yes, and it is the 4th leading cause of death.
And in your book, you talk about myths and facts.
Yes.
The facts, and a lot of people have misunderstandings around.
Yes. People think if they eat a lot of sugar, they're going to get diabetes.
Yeah.
And it's really not because you eat a lot of sugar. What it is that your pancreas just starts failing. And your pancreas makes insulin. And the insulin in your pancreas is what gets the sugar in your cells to give you energy.
Who's most at risk?
African Americans, Asians, Puerto Ricans, Indians, Alaskans. It's more brown minority.
And there is a hereditary piece in all of this, isn't it?
Yes, there is a hereditary piece. If, in fact, that you have a family member that has diabetes, you're more likely to get diabetes yourself.
Who should get tested, and how do you get tested?
Well, it's a simple blood test. You know, they can prick your finger, or you can get an A1C test, which is the most accurate. The A1C test is just a blood test. They come back, they give you a percentage of how your blood sugar has progressed, you know, how your body has managed your blood sugar over a 3-month period. Another thing, I just want to bring this to your attention, is instead of doing an educational piece from a lecture standpoint, we do what we call the Sugar Show. And in the Sugar Show, it's a 30-minute play. And the play, we give all the information.
Where do you do this at?
We do it anywhere. Anywhere someone, you know, if they call us, we do it in churches, rec centers. And
it's a learning experience.
It's a learning experience.
And there's a phone number people can call you, and I'm putting that on the screen right now, and set this up if they would like to see it.
If they would like to see it, they can give us a call at 330-352-7822, or check us on DaSugar.com.
D-A-S-U-G-A, DaSugar.
DaSugar.com.
Because that's how in my family, that's how the old folks talked about it.
Exactly.
When I was a kid, of course, I'm one of the old folks now, but that's what, I'm hanging in there. But that's how the old folks, when I was a kid, talked about it, was that I do go through the blood test because my father had sugar diabetes.
Yes.
He was diabetic. And so I go through the test periodically whenever I see my doctor, and he says, right now, Leon, you're hanging in there. What can we do to hold it off if we can? What helps to hold it off?
Diet is very important in managing diabetes. Diet, exercise, those are the 2 things that you can best do to help yourself, is to watch your diet and make sure that you get exercise.
And you brought a T-shirt with you?
Yes.
I haven't even looked at this T-shirt yet, but I knew you brought it with you. We will unveil it right now. I got the sugar.
And on the back?
And on the back, the sugar ain't got me. Oh, how nice. I got the sugar. The sugar ain't got me.
Yes.
Where can we find the book?
DaSugar.com.
Go to
Go to our
DaSugar.com.
website. Yes, you can order the book.
Yeah. And any questions we have, we can give Deanna Rice, who is an author and registered nurse. We can give her a phone call at 330-352-7822. We've got the number on the screen. Good to see you, my friend.
It's good to see you too, Leon. I'm so glad to be here with you.
Well, I'm glad to have you with us as well.
Please have us back.
Yes. We will have you back often.
Thank you.
Many thanks, Deanna Rice.
Thank you.
Taking a break. In a moment, we'll talk about 100 Black Men, the organization, after this. Welcome back to Kaleidoscope. The organization 100 Black Men of Greater Cleveland hosts its annual 100 Black Men in Black Ties 15th Annual Awards Gala. It's on October the 17th. Chairman Terry Maynard and Vice Chairman Dr. Gary Carrington are here to tell us about the organization and this year's event. Gary seated on the right and Terry seated on the left. Sounds like a good old songwriter team, Gary and Terry. Gentlemen, how are you both?
Doing good this morning. Doing great.
Yeah, tell me about, as chairman of 100 Black Men, Terry, what's the mission of 100 Black Men of Greater Cleveland?
Well, real simple. The mission is to identify, examine, and and address issues within the African-American community, specifically issues pertaining to the African-American youth.
Yeah.
That's what we focus on.
And Gary, this is a national organization.
Yes, it is.
And it's got this name, 100 Black Men. It can be more than 100 black men.
Right.
There's thousands in the organization nationwide.
Yes. Yeah, worldwide.
But it's been around for years.
Started in 1963. It was the 100 Black Men of America was created in 1997.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of, you know, the history of the movement.
Gary Carrington, you've got this big awards program coming up. Tell me about this.
Well, Leon, if I could just add a piece. One of the things, too, that we also look to focus on as our goal is to enhance the overall quality of life for the community, and to also look to provide opportunities both economically and educationally for African Americans. And we do that through our 4 for the Future initiatives: education, health and wellness, economic development, and mentoring. Right now, we look at one of our major mottos, which is real men giving real time. What they see is what they be. So we understand the importance of role modeling. We understand the importance of really presenting a positive role model. And so what we try to do is break negative stereotypes that are traditionally have been held out there for African American men. So.
And the big gala that you have fits in hand in glove with all of what you're talking about, right?
Yes, it does.
And tell me about that. That's going to be on October the 17th, Saturday, at the Marriott Cleveland East Hotel on Harvard Road in Warrensville Heights.
Well, the gala, Leon, as Gary explained, you know, we got 4 programming areas, and what we do is we try to honor local heroes in each of those areas. So this year's event is going to be on October 17th at the Marriott. We're going to be honoring Dr. Lolita McDavid from Rainbow's Babies and Children's Hospital. We're going to be honoring Dr. Julian Earls, local hero, local favorite. We're going to be also honoring 2 chapters of the Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority, Alpha Omega chapter and the Lambda Phi Omega chapter. And then also local guy Brian Hall from Logistics is going to be the economic development honoree.
I know them. I know them all. I know them all very well.
You know, again, we're a small mentoring group, but we think that there's a lot of value to what those individuals bring to our community, and we do the best we can to try to get them recognition.
You gave me an award some years ago. I'm deeply appreciative. It hangs in a place of honor in our home. I will tell you that. Gary, why is it important for individuals to support this event?
Well, Leon, we thank you for giving us the time to talk a little bit about this. Mentoring is so critical and key in our community as a whole. Again, when we look at overall social indicators of well-being, we see that African Americans as a whole, especially African American men, they lag behind significantly. So as our motto being real men giving real time, what they see is what they be, we understand that it's important for us, and there's no coincidence that we dress this way that we do in suits and ties. So when we go out to the schools, the kids, they see this, the youth, they see that, and so what we do is, again, we show a different image of what it means to be a black male, a positive black male role model. So what we do in our mentoring, we really try to work on developing character in our youth. We work on trying to increase their success, develop life skills for our children, and also show them how to dress for success. So even some of the simplest things that we may take for granted as professionals, we try to teach that through development and through curriculum.
There's a phone number you guys gave me, 216-361-9146. We've got that on the screen. We can get tickets to this event.
Yes, you can.
Or you can go to 100blackmencleveland.org, find more information. And this is going to be Saturday, October the 17th at the Marriott Cleveland East on Harvard Road. And you recall how much tickets are?
Yeah, $150 is for each ticket.
And you get so much for that.
You get full, great dinner, tasting.
Dinner, good times, good people. And it all goes toward what you were talking about.
And remember, it's for fundraising, so the key is supporting our mentoring programs. That's the key.
You wanted to squeeze this in too. This is another subject, but tell me about this, Gary.
Next Thursday, September 10th, we're going to be promoting a recruitment and membership drive. We're going to have an opportunity we're calling our Late Summer Jazz Explosion. That will be an opportunity for the community to come out to find more about what we're doing and to support us, but also to network and meet great members of the community too.
By the time this airs, this event will have taken place. So, but this is airing on September the 13th. But it was a wonderful wonderful event,
Well,
wasn't it?
yes, we know it will be, yes.
Right. Good to have you both on the broadcast. Leave us with a thought. I've got, how many seconds? I got about 30 seconds remaining. I got 30. Leave us with a thought
Here's
on
a
why
thought,
it's
Leon.
important.
The 100 black men is trying to fight a fight that's one of the most challenging right now. Everything that you see on the news with young black men and the way they're interacting with the police and how they're getting shot down and those different things, it's all about the mindset. And what we do is try to teach our kids to have the correct mindset when they get into those situations.
And you certainly
And that's
have
what we do.
And both of you, Terry Maynard and Gary Carrington, who are with 100 Black Men of Greater Cleveland, you certainly have the right mindset.
Yes, thank you.
Good to have you on the broadcast.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate it.
Thank you, Leon.
I'll be back in just a moment. Marsha Maccabee of the Urban League of Greater Cleveland joins me. Here now is the Morning Exchange segment. That means Marsha Maccabee of the Urban League, one of our partners. She always has a comment. Hey, Marsha.
Hey, Leon, how are you?
I'm fine, I'm fine.
Good. Listen, going to take the time this moment to, today, to really just support one of the organizations that I'm very much engaged with and supportive of because we weren't able to get them on the broadcast. We have so many people on the broadcast, so I promised today to mention the Cuyahoga County section of the National Council of Negro Women Incorporated. They're having their 34th annual luncheon fundraiser on Saturday, September 26th at 11 o'clock a.m. at Lander Haven. And they're going to be honoring 5 trailblazer women who are in non-traditional roles. And Danielle Wiggins of Traffic, a reporter for WKYC TV3, one of our sister stations, is going to be the MC for that event.
I know Danielle.
Yeah,
They're
good people.
Over there, too.
Absolutely.
We all work together
Absolutely.
for the common good of the community.
Absolutely. So people can check the Urban League website. We're going to put this up on our website for additional information on how to get tickets and so forth.
And we got a minute remaining.
Oh, great.
So this is all wonderful stuff. All these things, all the things that we try to talk about. You got the National Council of Negro Women.
Yes.
We're talking about that. We talked about the other organizations that have been on with us today.
Absolutely.
That's what we try to do on Kaleidoscope. Is show the community what's going on inside the community, things that are very positive.
Yeah, and things that they should be connected to and support, because it's very important in our community that we support these organizations that do such good work in the community.
Yeah. In our final 25 seconds, you are doing well at the Urban League.
Doing very well at the Urban League. It is an exciting time. We're in preparation for growth. We're in preparation for starting the countdown to our centennial in 2017, so a lot of excitement.
Speaking of the countdown, we're counting down to our last 5 seconds. We've got to go. Take care, everybody, and be well.
Be well.
This has been a presentation of News Channel 5's Kaleidoscope, a weekly public affairs program brought to you in partnership with the Urban League of Greater Cleveland.